Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, once and always. Yep, we're gonna talk about it. Welcome back. We are talking about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers once and always, and this was definitely a nostalgic gut punch, right, freaking in the feels for this series and the characters that we, grew up to love. So if you're a fan of, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the original series, of course. So with this, basically, there was a lot of controversy around returning characters and different things. Let me assure you that the Power Rangers do show up in full force at one particular point as far as the use of archival footage. So it's great that we still got to hear a bit of that kind of interaction between them, but it's still one of the things that was an immediate takeaway for me as far as this being, top tier. I want you to bring in the original Power Rangers. You bring in, one of the original. You bring in Alpha. You bring in Rita, but we've only got two of the original Rangers that are able to be present. Obviously, the other ones weren't present for various reasons. But either way, the show still starts off with the same story that looks like they were going to tell from the get go. They just had to retweak it, and this is about the Yellow Ranger. So this entire story revolves around the Yellow Ranger, the Black Ranger, and the Blue Ranger. So again, Trini, Billy and Zach respectively. And this is a story about how they have to deal with loss and grief. This kind of answers, it's more or less kind of like I want to say an answer to kind of what happened to Trini's character after she left for the peace conference, and we never kind of really saw her again after that. And this was more or less the fact that we actually see a Ranger's, death on screen as far as like, one of the original, just kind of, hey, she was taken out. Like Rita wasn't pulling no punches at all. And, it's something that definitely hit hard. And it's something that Billy and Zach had to really deal with. And I think that's something with the entire Mighty Morphin cast. They were always trying to process their grief, and it takes different people different times. But I think we kind of see it within the show that they're still processing that. And with the story writers, like I think the story writers did fantastic as far as kind of pulling all that together. It's a story about, about love and loss and stuff. It's a story about having to deal with the grief, anger, revenge, and they kind of pull it together. And although it being Mighty Morphin is kind of a silly show to a degree with kind of how they do things, they kept that stuff intact, which I don't know if necessarily was for the best. It's still cheesy, corny type, deal with the choreograph fight scenes, the breakdancing fight, which was still funny to me. I loved it, but they, it was still all the kind of same standard stuff. The CGI was definitely not the best as it could have been. Practical costumes were used for a lot of the stuff, which is great. Definitely the costumes and stuff look good. Look pretty classic to the original, as well as we got to see all the weapons. So again, a lot of nostalgia points were brought forward, especially with other Rangers and characters throughout the series. You could definitely see that Hasbro has their their figures front and center in certain parts of this, and we get to see some of the other, classic Rangers make on-screen appearances. Steve Cardenas, johnnyyoungbosch, Karenashley, Catherinesutherland. Like it's a lot that is really going on to focus the story on the Power Rangers, but most of the other people were used kind of like to pad the roster, so to speak. Like it's a lot of, we're here, but we're not really doing anything. This story was about Billy, Zach, trying to deal with everything with the newcomer Min, who is, the daughter of the Yellow Ranger Trini. So the story is all put together, and eventually she finds her way and she becomes a Power Ranger. So, which is absolutely fantastic. It's a true coming of age type story for becoming a Ranger, and everything from here going forward is, open for interpretation as to however you want to see. It was great to see older actors and stuff reprise their roles, particularly in this, and we get to see them how was it? How would it be as you're become a ranger in high school and now you're a businessman and you're still a Power Ranger, and you can use your job, your wealth to your advantage to help do things and stuff to help protect the city and stuff like that. So that's kind of the main thing with Billy. Zach, stepping up and being a father figure. I mean, both of them were, but Zach taking on the role to make sure he took care of men in Trini's absence. And it was great stuff. So I absolutely love that part about it. It was a great story to put forth. Now, honestly, if you give it a rating for that, I'd give it, somewhere between a 6 and a 7. And the only reason is because of the nostalgic, the bringing back voice. I think it could have been way better if you were able to bring back a lot more of the original actors to portray, their characters and stuff instead of using archival footage to kind of piece that together. But they did fantastic. The extra plus for me was the fact that they did a tribute to both Jason David Frank and thuytrang, due to we lost both of them through tragic circumstances. And you can see by my pops over here, these are two of my favorite original Rangers that I love dearly. And we get that tribute at the end, and we get a classic scene from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that is put up. So all in all, I think they did well for it for a one off. I think it could have been longer. I think they could have put a little bit more, better dialogue throughout the story, a little bit better with the choreography, the CGI stuff. But again, I know everybody's working on budget. And I've seen Netflix post some stuff also. I don't know if this is just going to be kind of a one-off for the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers, or if they're going to do anything more with this. It's just kind of a wait and see. So, but that's all I got for this one. By all means, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Leave your comments down below. I want to know what you think. I want to know who your favorite Ranger was. I want to know, how do you think that they handled, telling the story about everything? What do you think about, all the classic freaking weapons, the villains, and all this other stuff? Like, talk to me about it. Let me see what you got. And other than that, I will catch you guys in the next one.